think you should.
Hey guys, my name is Nicholas and welcome back to Microbyte Gaming. Today we're gonna be doing a new kind of video, and if you guys know, today is the eve of the Lunar New Year, otherwise known as Chinese New Year. And of course I'm Chinese, so I sort of celebrate Chinese New Year. I mean, like, of course I do celebrate Chinese New Year. So today I'm gonna be doing like a special video for you guys. Like, I got my face cam on and everything because I just downloaded a visual novel from Steam. It's called Trick and Treat. It's a free visual novel. You guys should check it out yourselves. I've been told like it's a Halloween themed like horror visual novel. Like my friends play it a bit. Yeah, so as you can see here, we got like it's the loading screen, the music in the loading screen is actually pretty dark. It's like, I know like it may not sound like much, but if you listen to it for quite some time, it is pretty scary. I mean, like, yeah, that's something. Alright, okay, we got setup. Okay, we got full screen and windowed. Got text speed. I'm just gonna leave all this at default because, yeah. Let's just start. Okay, I heard that this game has like 7 endings or something like that. Oh wow. The sound of our steps combined with that of the occasional nocturnal animal is the only thing we can hear. It's terribly dark in this place. The dense I almost read that as vegetarian. The vegetation makes it impossible to see the sky or light from the moon. That is some dark ass forest. Like, if you can see where my mouse is pointing, like the forest around here. Our flashlights are the only thing that light up our way. We have an RV. Are we like campers in the forest or something like that? At times like this, one begs to not run out of battery. Oh, of course not. Imagine if you ran out of battery. It's like Slender, actually. Yeah, this is a lot like Slender. Now that I think about it, Slenderman, if you guys know that game, yeah. We walk without knowing what we are really looking for, or better said, for no reason. So, we are a group of boys bored with our lives, trying to create a lasting memory on this night instead of staying home and doing nothing. Today is October 31st, All Hallows Eve, better known as Halloween. 3 young men walk through a dark, but up until now, nothing special for us, me being one of them. We are doing it to prove our courage. It's too bad there isn't a girl here to see how brave we are. I guess, actually, why would you walk in the forest at night? Like, that's kind of dumb, isn't it, actually? Anyways, seeing it like that, one could say this is a meaningless effort. For a moment I stopped to look at my watch. It's 1:49 AM. Jesus Christ, that is early. Or should I say late, because it's kind of like the next day. That means we have been walking aimlessly for more than 2 hours now. So if my math serves me right, 1:49 minus 2 is 12. Oh no, wait, God. They should have started at 11:49, yes, PM. I'm sure that many people would find a place like this terrifying. But once you get used to it, the fear disappears, making it feel like normal. What makes us afraid of the dark is that we cannot know what hides in it, what lurks in the shadows. The wolves, coyote. But this is clearly an empty darkness. At that moment, I sigh, feeling how tired my legs are. Well, considering that this guy, the character I'm playing as, has been walking for 2 hours in the dark forest, I imagine my legs be pretty tired. Like, my legs feel like jelly by then, I think. What is the point of being here? Clearly we had already demonstrated what we wanted. It would be best to return, I should tell them. Oh wow. I was about to speak when suddenly the atmosphere in the forest becomes strange. Yeah, we got the mist everywhere. As you can see now, this is definitely like Slenderish, like from Slenderman. Suddenly a cold chill runs through my body. It was like any other chill, except it was not going away. For no reason, the air's temperature dropped from one second to the other. So much so, my breath becomes visible, turning into mist. That is actually really cold. I wonder what country they're in. Poland? Doesn't end there. The air is now filled with a rotten smell, just a little short from being unbearable. Images of worms and flies soon appear in my mind, giving me a really unpleasant feeling. Are we gonna find like a corpse or something like that? We all stop at that moment. What's happening? Oh wait, is our name Axel? Oh, I'm guessing so. I asked, confused, while turning to look at my friends. By their expression on their faces, it was easy to know that they were just as lost as I was. It was then that we heard footsteps nearby that did not come from any of us. Oh, I actually heard like the audio cue of footsteps. Thought it was like coming from my room or something like that. We all got dead quiet after that. I don't know if it was out of fear or to check if it was not a mistake, but we stayed motionless like statues without making a noise. Just looking at each other's faces, wondering the same thing. Friend, what was happening? As if I could know. We heard the steps again. They clearly belonged to a human, or at least to a large animal, but there is something strange about them. Sorry about that, guys, I'm just really thirsty from reading all this dialogue. Alright, so apparently there's like the mist around us and we can barely see anything, but we hear footsteps. Hold on a second, guys, let me just drink water. It's really thirsty doing all this dialogue. Alright. Okay, we're done with our break. Alright. It sounds as if the person walked dragging one foot. Just thinking about it made me shiver. Damn, why is this happening? It makes no sense. We should have returned home before, but now it's too late to regret it. I have the feeling that we were being stalked by someone. This is gonna like turn into Dead by Daylight all of a sudden, except for there are 3 survivors and 1 killer. The strange footsteps stop, but I'm still feeling the presence nearby. I don't know where it is, but I know that it's looking at me. That cursed thing is looking at me. My heart is beating anxiously. It's almost as if my body was telling me to get out of there. But strangely, my friends seem unable to perceive it. It seems that it's gone. It must have been just an animal. Said one of them, convinced that we were safe. I would like to believe that too. We had a sigh of relief. However, bad luck would soon strike us again. Oh, okay, another cutscene. Unexpectedly, the forest becomes darker than before in just a blink of an eye. Oh, wow. But that wasn't the fault of the forest, but our flashlights which went out. Oh, that is the worst thing that can happen to you right now, your flashlights going out. Of the 3, only one mine was still working. What's going on? Did the batteries die? Asked one of them, scared, while they both beat them desperately as if that was going to revive them. I can't blame them. The idea of walking in the darkness was not pleasant for anyone. Oh god, they have 1 flashlight now. I mean, we have 1 flashlight now. Oh god, my mouse. But after a few moments, we had no choice but to resign ourselves to that. Sorry about that, I just burped. Once more, the sound of our footsteps is heard. But the silence is different now. We are not quiet because we have nothing to say, but because we are afraid. We continue walking despite the fear that invades us. Visibility is almost 0, but we have no choice. In theory, we were walking back looking for the exit, but I can't remember anything of this forest. Well, I guess if they're walking with 1 flashlight, it's pretty difficult. We could be walking in circles and I would never notice it until it is too late. I hate the thought of it. I just want to get out of Oh, okay, wow, then, okay, the dots. Suddenly my thoughts are silenced. We hear the footstep of someone or something. Once more, the 3 of us became statues, awaiting the presence to go. I hold my breath while feeling my heart beating anxiously. Damn, get away from here and leave us alone! Unexpectedly, the steps are heard closer. This time they do not disappear but rather come at us. I can't stand it. Desperately, I move my flashlight everywhere looking for the author of those footsteps, hoping for the light to reveal their identity and erase our fears. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Is that all? Is that all there is around here? Just empty air? My anxiety grows with each failed attempt. I refuse to believe that it was a ghost. Suddenly, when I move a flashlight again, I see a silhouette. I could not distinguish what it was, but for a moment, the light revealed something. Quickly, I point to the same place only to discover it was gone. I hold my breath anxiously. It was not an illusion. I am sure that I saw something. It was then that I hear something nearby. Without even thinking, I aim the light towards that place. Oh, hey, my friend's playing Stellaris. Oh, wait, never mind that. What I found leaves us paralyzed with an expression of disbelief on our faces. It is a white cat with eyes of an intense red which stands before us. Her look is not the friendliest to say something. Really? Do you just get scared all of that for a cat? Somehow I got the feeling it's a female cat. Suddenly she lets out a thunderous meow that leaves us terrified. It sounded more like a lion roaring than a simple cat. The echo of a meow is heard throughout the forest, making it sound more sinister than it should be. It was then that suddenly an inexplicable force hits us there. It hits us three. Oh god, we got flashbangs. The cat flashbanged us. That is some logic shit right there. I fall to the ground, and little by little my eyelids close. The fatigue becomes unbearable. I lose consciousness on the ground of the forest without knowing what was going to happen to me. In interlude before night falls. What? Oh, okay, this is like earlier, what happened earlier. It is a day like any other, so normal that it was almost painful. The only special thing that could be said about it is that it's October 31st. Far were the memories when I was a kid and went out with my friends to ask for sweets from house to house, trick-or-treating. Just remembering it made me sigh. I feel nostalgic. Some things were better when I was a child, or at least seems like that. There were some who had good costumes, whether of superheroes or monsters. My friends and I, on the other hand, had to use our imagination. Creativity was our costume, you could say, no matter how funny it could sound. I remember that my mother once painted red my face and told me, "You will be the devil." But it seems only she saw it that way. When we went to Home From Home, everyone said I was the Tomato Man. Jesus Christ. But those things didn't matter to me since we always had a good time. If I ask for candy now, even if I had the best costume, I'm sure no one would give me anything. I just noticed in like the background, that is quite a nice bookshelf, very unique, very like modern. I like it. Except perhaps a scolding for acting like a child when I'm 17 years old. I guess you still can go trick-or-treating when you're 17 years old. I've never went trick-or-treating before because I live in my country doesn't really do it, so eh. But anyway, I can't stay in the past. I must live in the present, no matter how little exciting that might be. Back to reality. We are a group of friends who don't have any plans for the day. We are still not old enough to go to a disco, and I doubt guys as us would have any luck in that environment. The other option would be to go to a party, meet girls and have fun. Everything perfect, except that nobody has invited us. Not being popular has its disadvantages. So basically we're a bunch of nerds. Great. Hold on a second, I just have a drink of water again. Thirstiness. I wonder how other YouTubers do it, like go on for dialogues forever without even drinking water. Hey Axel, let's have a couple matches. What do you say? My friend Steven called my attention while playing with the game console. Rush, I believe that's what the game is called, a fast and quite complicated fighting game for me. Yep, my theory was correct. We are a bunch of nerds, gamer nerds. Not saying that gamers are like nerds. I am a gamer myself. Like we have gamer pride. I would normally agree to play with him, but for some reason I don't feel in the mood today. I have no desire to play now. I replied with discouragement. I almost feel bad for doing it. Boring. The AI is no rival for me. Well, true. Playing multiplayer is more challenging. Like that's why people play massively multiplayer online games. Steven said with confidence. That you're playing on a normal difficulty does not help your argument. I don't feel like losing, but if you want, you can challenge to Alfred. I said, leading the attention to my other friend. I don't know how to play that, answered Alfred, doubting for a second. He's sitting behind a PC, but it seems that he isn't doing anything interesting. The screen only shows a lot of text. I think he's in Wikipedia. Hey, don't you have something more fun to do? I asked with discouragement, without even thinking about what he was reading. Alfred looks at me surprised. The actual problem of society is that people are not interested in discovering their history. He is one of those pseudo intellectuals always looking for any rare information to appear smarter than others. Yeah, we are, but we are a bunch of nerds with our nerdy friends. Great. When we forget our past mistakes, we are doomed to repeat them. He added later, studying history. Great. What are you talking about? This village is small and its story is not interesting at all. We live in a village and we have like this kind of house in the background. That is insane. Nothing outside of the normal has ever happened in it. Alfred laughs mockingly after hearing that. Your ignorance is worthy of praise. He pauses, filling his chest with pride. The very fact it is a small town is the reason it's full of mysteries. Did you know that 20 years ago, on this date, a man disappeared? So, what about it? I asked without being impressed or even interested in the least. Things like that happen all the time in all places. As I thought, you don't know the history despite living in this very place. Alfred said while adjusting his glasses in an arrogant gesture. There is a legend behind the disappearance. That is what I was reading. So basically what I have like got together is that I'm guessing that the missing guy they were talking about, he got missing in a forest, and that's how he even got to the forest in the first place. After listening to him, I looked back at the computer screen with curiosity. It's then that I noticed that it was not Wikipedia but some other page. Come on, read this and learn a little. Alfred said, inviting us to read what was on the screen. Both Steven and I moved closer to read it. Oh, do we actually get to see the screen? Town of Abingdon, Oxfordshire, country, 1994. I came to this town with only 4,000 inhabitants to support them in an investigation. Truth is that never in my life have I seen something this strange. I won't say your typical detective-ish nonsense that I have seen thousands of strange things in my life. I've seen many crimes, yes. Some difficult to solve, but all of them were human. Okay, so we're dealing with supernatural things like ghosts. Sorry about that, guys. Even if you don't know how they managed to perpetrate the crime, you know that they are people like anyone else. In this case, I don't think I'm able to say the same thing. Truth is that I can't understand what happened. I was called for the disappearance of a man named Matthew Graham. Jesus, I'm getting really thirsty. Maybe I should like start talking slowly, maybe that'll help. 23 years. Single. The last time he was seen, he was returning home from a Halloween party. He had drank alcohol but was still sober, or at least that's what witnesses said. Anyway, this is not something which can be explained with a simple drunkenness. He apparently got lost on the way home and decided to enter the forest called Oakwood. It had rained yesterday, so the ground was wet and muddy. We could easily find his traces, which were leading deep inside the forest. Apparently, he walked for 3 hours before stopping. Oh wow, in the beginning we walked for close to 2 hours. I say stop, but the truth is we don't know what happened then. The track suddenly ended up in a clearing in the forest, and that's all. Wow, he like disappeared, no tracks, no nothing. There was no evidence of struggle, no other trace or pieces of clothing on the ground. There was no blood, no more footprints, or anything else. The depth of his last footprints and the position they were in indicated that he was still walking. At no point he stood still. It was as if he had vaporized in the air, with all his clothes in the middle of his walk. Obviously I can't believe such a thing, but I can't give any other explanation. I bet if you gave me time I could come up with an explanation for that. The only thing I remember is that near the footprints I sensed a faint smell of rot. However, there were no animal corpses nearby. It is ridiculous to think that he suddenly started to decay and become earth. Instantaneous decaying, maybe? Is that a thing? In the end, the case was closed in just 3 days. With no evidence of any kind, we couldn't say anything but that he decided to escape from the village. However, While officially there was no more to do, I couldn't sleep in peace. Thinking about what could have happened to him took away my sleep. In my mind, I thought all sorts of theories, like maybe everything was a plan developed by Matthew, but in the end they all seemed impossible. I decided to investigate more on the issue. I searched the town for similar stories, and to my surprise I found 4 more, all young men. The story was always the same. They walked into the forest alone, disappearing without trace. Even more curious is that all of them disappeared on the same date, October 31st. Oh damn, this is actually like really good plot right here. Although it's kind of like obvious that the main character and his friends did this because of this article and they were like, psh, ghosts aren't real. But there is more. A detail that completely eliminates the possibility that there is a killer or kidnapper behind this. Alright, sorry about that. And that is the separation of the years. Of the years? I don't get it. Roger Bacon, disappeared 1924. Mitchell Smith, 1867. Jason Black, 1813. And the worst of all, Oswald Taylor, disappeared in 1707. Is there a pattern to this? It's like, it simply couldn't be possible. I don't get it. What? My curiosity led me to dig deeper. I thought that the answer may be in a path of the forest. It was then when I discovered that what seemed to be a simple and boring forest actually hid a great story. Before it was called Oakwood or Oaks Forest, the place was called Wychwood. The word witch was huge similarity with witch. Taking into consideration that it is an old name and language changes over time, it indicates that the forest of witches. Oh god, Oakwood was the forest of witches. Apparently more than 400 years ago, people of the village believed witches lived in the woods. Unfortunately, almost all the information is already lost. They were stories told in voice, without a properly written record. I just know that, with the change of religion to Christian, people stopped seeing the witches with good eyes and began to hunt them. Apparently the last one before her death cast a curse on the forest which even today should continue to exist. Anyway, obviously I cannot accept something like that as the answer, so the detective is like a man of science, I guess. In the end, I have no other choice than accepting that each one of them escaped from the village, using the legend of the forest to make it look like it was something supernatural. Oh wow, okay, we're done now. Okay, that's interesting story. I didn't know such a story was hiding in this town. Alright guys, actually I think like I've been playing for like quite some time now. I think this is a good place to like end the episode. I think there's actually like a save option here. Yeah, we can save, setup, load, auto, quick save, and hide. Alright, I think I'll like save this and like I'm gonna end the video because like I'll continue this later because I'm really thirsty now. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and don't forget to check out my other content. And for now, I'll see y'all